can't protect what you can't correct. Right? If I go, let's say I walked into a place, right, and my wife was like going back and forth with some dude or some shit, right? I would interject, but I'd say, yo, sit down and shut the fuck up. And then I would handle the situation accordingly, right? Can you take that type of correction in a situation in which you need protection? I don't know. If I walked in and Sai going back and forth with some nigga, I'm like, yo, Sai, sit down and shut the fuck up. I'm not so sure. And now I gotta deal with everybody, right? The nigga and her. That's I don't know. Callie, I say, yo, Callie, sit down and shut the fuck up.
That's why I asked the question. Are we talking about?
I think I got a little bit better chance with Callie. If I walk in, I say, yo, Lex, sit down and shut the fuck up. I think I got the best chance with Lex.
Y'all, this shit.
No, just saying, I'm just giving an honest assessment, right? Because that's the correction that you got to give, right? When these are tough situations, right?
Who the fuck you talking to? Talking about shut the fuck up. Most women, that ain't gonna happen.
Okay. And that's my sentiment too. To sit there and think that a person cannot sit there and process danger, and sit there and her nigga is telling her to shut the fuck up for safety reasons, that she's not gonna shut the fuck up, is mind-boggling. And then for you to sit there and say that you didn't think that I would shut the fuck up when we was in live situations where I had to sit there and shut the fuck up, mind-boggling.
Yeah, but I digress. I can see the difficulty for sure. You know, I hope that women can recognize it. I hope that they can recognize it, but it's tough to see most women recognizing it, you know, because I'm thinking, why is there a confrontation in the first place if we recognize a dangerous situation?
Women.
I don't think it's, let me say this. I don't think it's you guys not giving up vagina or not. I do think it's the lack of being able to correct it in the attitude. I think that people are unwilling to protect things that they see as rude, uncomfortable, attitudinal, the whole 9 yards. Right? I think that they don't see the women like children. They see the women like adults. And if she can do everything herself, she can protect herself. I think that's what's being included. The elderly are vulnerable. I think this is how men are starting to see it. The elderly are vulnerable, right? I work with them on a consistent, like every day. Well, my teams do, right? There was one lady, she had dementia. So we're helping her carry a sleeper sofa. And she's like, let me help you. So now she's standing next to me holding the couch, right? And I'm trying not to hit her. And I'm sweating because it's hot and I got to L the couch in. And I almost broke because I'm straining. So I almost broke my back trying to let her help me. She gonna pat me on the back. You did good. I said, you almost killed me. But she thinks she helping me because she got her hands on the couch. And my guy on the other side, he don't gotta be lopsided, you know? So he laughing while we holding this couch. Right? But she vulnerable. You see? Instantly, if somebody did something to that old white lady, they had to deal with me first. Right? Instantly. Any kid at a playground, instantly, right? Those people also are cooperative, right? Kids fucking listen, right? The elderly people, they be going back and forth with they kids, but the kids be like, no, Ma, you gotta go here, right? And no matter if Ma don't want to go in assisted living, she going in assisted living, right? Because she 80 and she don't got, and her daughter got power of attorney, right? She taking her 86-year-old ass in there, right? Point blank. That doesn't exist, right? The kids listen, the elderly listen. They can be corrected. Okay. That's the one denominator that isn't common amongst the three.
Okay, so when we say correction, we talking about from your actual mate. I'm sorry, I've been listening to Pocket FM, smut novels, okay, whatever, right? So when we talking about submission, right? You know, you got the alpha male and everything like that. He presents, he will intensify his alpha aura, and all others are going to submit. Right. So what I'm saying is, when we talk about submit, are you talking about randoms or are you talking about your actual mate?
What you think, Coco? Krishana, Tex, Aaliyah, what y'all think?
Are we talking about
Your
random?
husband. Your husband. Who else should you submit to outside of him?
Well,
I don't. I well,
Coco,
sorry.
clarifying question.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
question is answered by who you expect protection from.
Mm-hmm.
If you have an expectation of men,
Yeah,
then
you
what
should
do you
submit to
give in
them.
return? Hence to Nas' question. Go ahead, Coco. Go ahead, Coco. My bad.
Is she thinking?
No, I would say that a man. I'm sorry.
I gotta edit a lot
I
of
would say
these.
that the only person
You got a delay.
a man should only spend his wallet on his wife or provide for his wife, and a woman should only submit to her husband.
Mm-mm. 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 No. No, 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 no. Because if we're talking about protection from men in general, if I am being attacked by a man, then I expect a man to come in and protect me because I'm not going to be with my mate 24/7, 365. So, because I expect protection from that random, okay, from a random that sees what's going on, do I submit to that random?
But you don't operate from the mind frame of submitting to men just because they're men, period. So like if you come encounter with like a random like and like I don't know what type of situation you will be in where you would have to like to submit to a random person. But like if you're in that situation or like if you're in a situation with a man and you need to submit to him, you don't operate in that mind frame. So you wouldn't like you said you wouldn't submit to like you wouldn't a man you a random man wouldn't protect you because you wouldn't submit to a random man if if that
No,
makes
the
sense.
level of submission would be different, of course, because one is an intimate relationship and another is a random, right? So
Hmm.
I would give what's the word that we've been using for the last couple of months? Deference to a
Mm.
random because I would expect protection from a random. You see what I'm saying?
Why
Mm.
would you expect protection from a random though if you wouldn't even
Because I
submit to a random like you wouldn't what would you give to that random for that protection like what would you do for that.
exactly my point.
I'm asking you
That's
a
exactly my
question.
point. No, that's
I'm
exactly my
asking.
point. How would I submit to a random for that protection from a random that
So
I
then
would
why
expect?
would you expect it?
I would expect a random to protect me from another nigga because I'm being attacked as a weaker vessel.
Can you be
So
okay?
how would I go ahead
Let
and
me help.
how would I submit to that random?
Let me help
Go
clarify.
ahead.
Right?
Yeah.
So let
Help
me
us
help
sister
clarify.
out.
Let me help clarify. Right. So can't protect what you can't correct. Right. If I go, let's say I walked into a place, right, and my wife was like going back and forth with some dude or some shit, right? I would interject, but I'd say, "Yo, sit down and shut the fuck up," and then I would handle the situation accordingly, right? Can you take that type of correction in a situation in which you need protection? I don't know. If I walked in and Side going back and forth with some nigga, I'm like, "Yo, Side, sit down and shut the fuck up." I'm not so sure.
You're
Yeah,
I'm
you
talking
not
can't
about
so
say
from a
sure. And
random,
now and now
not
I
so
have to
much from
deal.
a
Now I gotta deal with everybody, right? The nigga and her. That's I don't know.
yeah, but
Callie, if I say,
that's
yo,
not gonna
Callie,
happen in
sit
real
down
life
and shut the
though.
fuck up.
that's why I asked
I
the
think I
question,
got
are
a
we
little bit
talking
better
about
chance. I'm going. I think I got a little bit better chance with Callie. If I walk in, I say, yo, Lex, sit down and shut the fuck up. I think I got the best chance with Lex.
Y'all, this shit.
No, just saying, just just I'm just giving an honest assessment, right? Because that's the correction that you got to give, right? When these are tough situations, right? You see, right? If I walk in and see something that I'm like, what the hell is this? You got to be harsh. You got to be heavy handed because it's a heavy handed situation. You see, I don't have time to be, oh, just chill. If you, especially if I also recognize a threat of violence, you see, you know. So, what level of correction? How can this happen? Like, what does it look like? You know.
That's why I was asking the question: are we talking about someone that you're in a relationship with, or are we talking about randoms that we should be, submit to
Can
because
you
they're
take
men?
can you
Well,
take
okay, how can you
correction? Can
submit
you
to?
take correction from a random man? Like, can you just take, like, if a man was to suggest something to you, like a random man was to say something to you or give you a suggestion, would you take that? Would you be receptive to that type of information? How would you react to that? How would you respond?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I don't have a nigga mind. I don't have no nigga mind. You know what I'm saying? So
No.
yeah, I would be susceptible to that damn correction because I don't have no nigga mind.
So maybe can you give a scenario? Because I'm confused about being some having submission to a random man. I'm confused with that at all because typically submission is relational. Typically submission is over the course of period. You're going to be in contact with this person, and this person is going to lead you. So I don't see a situation where over a amount of time that a random person is just going to lead you and you're going to be following a random person's direction.
If you are in public, right, and some random is coming at you in some kind of disrespectful way or whatever, and you don't feel like you should submit to that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to PC it, but fuck it. If you don't feel like you should be submitting to that nigga because that nigga is disrespecting you, right? If a random, if another random nigga was like, "Hey, chill," you know what I'm saying? Because he would be able to recognize some shit in that nigga mind that you can't relate to because you ain't no nigga. That would be an instance where you would submit to that random nigga because that random nigga recognizes some shit that you don't.
Or
He
give
sees some shit
respect.
that you don't.
Or give respect. The example that Hamp gave, if I didn't know him and he did that because her same situation, and me looking at him and me knowing that I probably ain't gonna be able to do shit to this dude and him say, "Oh, shut the fuck up." I'm gonna go over there and shut the fuck up because he probably in the face and correcting that other nigga. So
But
that respect that I have that he is taking that initiative to protect me as a random as well. Yes, I'm gonna get that respect and not say anything else and back away.
I'm
Have you
sorry.
guys
So
ever?
in the example though, you knew Hamp. Hamp was
No,
giving
I
an
just said
example.
if I
No, he just said that
She's
she didn't
saying
know
that she
him.
didn't know him.
Hamp is a random too.
yeah, he's a random, I'm a random. I mean,
So then
have
why
y'all
would
ever had
you?
situations? So hold on. So what, Coco? So you never been in a situation where another man had to protect you? You've never at all?
This is how. Let me explain. This is how it actually manifests, right? If a man ever interjected in these situations, right,
Yeah.
from personal experience, there's you could tell, right, that the nigga is getting there, right? We can see it, you know, and you're like, yo, Sean, right? And he it may not be an argument, but you could tell, like, yo, right, when niggas start huffing, I swear to God, all that shit, right? You intervene, yo, it ain't worth it, right? All this shit still happening, yo, shut the fuck up, right? Because she don't see no threat of violence, right? We always have that disparity. So you're like, yo, shut the fuck, because you're really saying, yo, sit down and shut the fuck up before he slap the shit out you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And now with him, you could probably put your hand on his chest, feel me? Yo, you don't gotta go to jail, the shit like, right? You might say some de-escalating shit, you know? Right? But her, you gotta shut up first. so this nigga could see me as another imposing figure and see me stepping in the way of this so we can de-escalate it. You see? But if she take me being in the middle as a barrier to be like, you know, when niggas don't want to fight, but then somebody break them up, now they want to fight. If she use me as that ain't gonna help. You see? So she gotta be quiet so I can really get this nigga to, yo, get the fuck out of here, whatever the case is. You see? If she's still yelling over my back, yeah, bitch ass nigga, you know what I mean? So that can't happen. But this is a real situation. What I'm describing is actual.
Yeah.
You see? That's why I say, yo, shut up, nigga. Before he end up, you know what I mean? Now I really got to tussle with this nigga. You know?
A lot of women wouldn't even be receptive to shut up. Women aren't even receptive to shut up. So is shut the fuck up. Like women wouldn't shut the fuck up just because you say shut the fuck up. Like they're not gonna do that because they'll say, oh, you don't have to say it like that. You could say it like, oh, be quiet, just sit down real quick for me, real quick. They not receptive to like real assertive, real aggression, real shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. Like women
And
are
Aaliyah, I'm
receptive.
I
glad you
don't think
made that
so.
point, right? That I'm glad you made that point, right, Callie? Because think about this, right? If a car's come, I'm saying get out the fucking way. If they shoot, I'm saying duck the fuck down, right? If this nigga about to punch you in your face, shut the fuck up. It's all the same, right? But you don't even see that man as that level, right? You like, but when you think about these situations, and this is real from personal experience, right? But when a car coming, a bullets is flying, the F word is okay. Now when a nigga about to knock your head in the next week, now you take exception. That's where we draw the line. You see, but like we don't recognize the threats, right?
I will say the majority of women,
Yeah,
okay, regardless of their initial conduct with the first random or
yeah.
whatever,
Mhm.
knows that another nigga recognizes that other nigga mind and will listen when he says, "Hey, yo, shut the fuck up." She ain't fit. Most women are not finna go off on him and talking about who the fuck you talking to, talking about shut the fuck up. Most women, that ain't gonna happen.
Okay.
And that's my sentiment too. To sit there and think that a person cannot sit there and process danger and sit there and
We
know
see
when
it.
her nigga is telling her to shut the fuck up for safety reasons that she's not going to shut the fuck up is mind boggling. And then for you to sit there and say that you
Mm-hmm.
didn't think that I would shut the fuck up when we were in live situations where I had
Mm-hmm.
to sit there and shut the fuck up, mind boggling. But
Yeah,
I
I'm
digress.
saying that I could see the difficulty for sure. You know, I hope that
But there was never a
women can
difficulty.
recognize it. I hope that they can recognize it, but it's tough to see most women recognizing it. You know, because I'm thinking, why is there a confrontation in the first place if we recognize a dangerous situation? You know.
Women
Because
don't see men
niggas,
as women don't really see men as threatening
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
or as a threat or as some form as something that can harm them. They only see it when it's convenient to make an argument, but in real life situations, women don't process that men can really knock them the fuck out. So they operate
How?
like that
these
until they get knocked out.
Okay. Can you count on more than one hand how many times that you've seen that shit in real life? where
Yes.
a where a chick is sitting there with the pointing in the face, fuck you nigga, and all up in the nigga face to the point where he getting ready to knock her out and she don't recognize that shit.
Yes.
Yeah, Callie, she from New York. She from New York.
Yeah.
If she in New York, she see
Yo,
it
Cal,
dead
it's
ass.
not an
I've seen
exaggeration,
it
bro.
for
Not
real.
the human ones, Callie. The actual Timberland boots. Without it, I'm telling you, she see it.
Yo, it's real, you know, because it just I've seen it, you know, and from personal
no, I'm
experience, like you be subjected to it, you know.
no, I'm not saying that them bitches out there don't exist because I see the shit online. But
Yeah,
in my
online
real life,
is
from what
people.
I've seen, no, yeah, I know that. I know that they exist. I know that it's out there, right? But in my real life, from what I have seen, I don't see this shit right here to no fucking random nigga. I don't. Let alone if she's already into it with a nigga and another nigga tell her to shut the fuck up or whatever like that. Chill. You know what I'm saying? And she go start going off on that nigga too. I don't see it.
There's literally
Kelly.
videos that go.
It's mad video.
That's what I'm saying. I know that there's videos out there. I've seen such videos. Okay, I've seen the videos. I know that them bitches are out there, right? But what I'm saying is to say that those videos are the majority of women. I'm not going.
The majority. Hold on. Y'all were just saying earlier, most men don't deserve what? Most men don't deserve cooperation. Most men don't deserve submission. So why, if you don't respect or see most men in that facet, why do we expect for people to be cooperative at that moment if they already willing to argue with a man? That doesn't even make that incoherent.
Because the presence of danger, right, is more readily seen. Okay, well, I won't say readily seen. It's easier to see. That's
See
what
an argument already, Cal.
Right. It's easy. It's easier to see imminent danger to your physical body or whatever like that. It's more easily seen than the nuances of within a relationship type shit. That's all I'm saying.
But that doesn't even, that
she's
literally
in an argument already with a man, you see?
Mm-hmm.
So if she was so cognizant of danger, how did that escalate to that point?
She's cognizant of the danger when another
I already
nigga.
heard what you said. I already heard what you said. Krishana.
When another nigga come in there.
Right? She's arguing with a man already.
Mm-hmm.
She's cognizant of danger?
At that moment, I don't believe that she's cognizant of the danger that she's in. If she's arguing with the man, because her emotions are at our heightened level. Because I think if I believe that you can get lost in your emotions. And at the moment, if you're already, given the example Hamp gave, if she's at a heightened place, she doesn't realize that there's a severe danger. But if before that, yes, to what you were saying, Callie, there's a possibility that she might, subside, but it's low. It's more of a probability in regard to what Hank was saying. If she's arguing with the guy, she doesn't really realize that she's gonna be in trouble.
I'm talking about, and what I was specifying with is when another random steps in. That's what I was. That's what I was prefacing on. That's what I've been talking about this whole time.
Okay.
When another nigga mind steps in, the likelihood of her going off on that other random nigga that's stepping in because he says shut the fuck up, be quiet, or whatever like that is low.
So here's Krishana. Here's one thing I always say: how you do anything is how you do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not likely that a person who's willing to escalate is going to de-escalate for another person that she doesn't even know to have respect for and think that don't deserve cooperation. I just don't see that happening in real time because now there's something to take exception with how I approach the situation and what make me different from that nigga. If she also arguing with him for disrespect. Now, like Aaliyah said, she think I disrespected her by saying, yo, shut the fuck up and sit down. Does she recognize the protection or does she only see it as disrespect regardless if I'm trying to step in? What's the likelihood? That's all I'm asking.
No, you're right. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Just being like, how do we?
No, you're right.
I'll be right back. I got a TT.
I take number 2.
I mean,
I think the best cause would be to listen.
The best.
I'm sorry, arguing with a
man.
man.
I'll go ahead, Leah.
You shouldn't even be arguing with a man in the first place to even need another man to step in to tell you to shut the fuck up and sit down and be quiet. You shouldn't even be arguing with a man the first place because
we know that we do.
And that's the problem because women don't recognize men as a danger unless it's convenient to recognize them as a danger, to paint them out to be predators and people, and for women to be perceived as victims. It's only convenient for that narrative. But women don't operate in the mind frame that men can cause them harm at any time. At any moment in time, a man can harm, like literally harm, like knock a woman's head off her shoulders, like just
Yeah.
because they're a
Especially when
man.
women are drunk. Yeah.
So
They
it's just
Exactly.
like
be
women don't
crazy.
perceive
Aaliyah,
that
the
danger
men
right
that you
there.
argue with on panels, Aaliyah, do you feel like they're gonna knock your head off?
Yes.